Hi guys, let's get to talk about the animate state in Compose. For first timers, if you want to probably create a Compose project, you need to upgrade your Android Studio to probably the latest version at the present, and you easily opt for a new project from any layout, but you need to select the empty compose activity or empty compose activity with the master detail. You need to select a screen related to compose. Once you do that, you're good to go to have compose right there, and you start working on your project. So that's how to go about setting up. You'll cancel that. That's how to go about setting up a compose project. Getting back to what we have for today, we'll talk about the animation of states. What is a state in Compose? When we use the word remember to store an object and to create an internal state of it, basically we're storing an object. It could be a different data type object. It could be a custom object with probably key value pairs. It could be an integer. It could be a string. It could be a boolean. Name it. You could persist that over the course of uh, the rendering, and you get to set it up, or you reuse it, or you could modify it. So that's just basically what we'll be doing here. We'll get to see how we can manipulate the state. In the main activity, we have the component activity. You need to extend the component activity and you override on create method. Basic, you set your content and you use the animate states theme. In there, you have a surface container whereby you'll be using the background color from the theme, which we have here from the material theme. Now we have a composable called rotation demo. That's where we get to do some of the manipulated states. We have an enum with red and magenta called the box color. Let's get to see. The first declared state is rotated using the word by remember. Now, um, let me get to collapse this so we have more space to look at. That's fine. Uh, you set it up this way using the mutable state of false. So at the point of initializing this particular state, it's set to false. We have the angle, which is actually by the animate float as state. It takes two parameters, the target value and also the animation spec, where you're going to have a target value as a float value. That's if it's rotated, you're going to have it at 360 float, else it's going to have it at 0f, which is a float value. The second one is a twin. That's actually getting to know the duration. That's actually going to probably spiral in milliseconds. And it's having an easing of a linear easing. We set up a column just to be a wrapper. We're talking about details about column, about rows in subsequent tutorials. In our column, we have it aligned as center horizontal and a modifier to fill the maximum width. In there, we set an image, we paint it, thereby drawing up the drawable resource, and its content description, and also a modifier to rotate at an angle and set up some padding with the size of the particular image. We set up a button at the bottom and on click listener to the button, whereby it's going to then switch the state. Rotate at first and not rotate at the second. So a click, you rotate, the next click, it kind of negates the rotate to not rotate at that point in time. With the text of rotate propeller, basic. Now there's a color change demo. What this color change demo is probably the second state of rotate we'll be looking at. The same flow we have, a color state, will set the state to be red at that point in time. You can see we could actually use state with different kind of objects. We could use with boolean, as I've said earlier. We could use with a custom object. We could use with float, name it. And we also still have our animated state calling from the animate as state, where we have the target value and the spec. The target value this time is red and magenta and red. That's cool. We have our column, which is actually going to, the beauty about Compose is declarative, and you get to see your UI side by side with your code. So it guides you as you develop it, as you're writing code. You get to visualize what you're kind of doing. So this is what we're talking about. The first one is where we have the fan spiral like, but now we get into the second. Now on click button is going to change from magenta to red, basically. The third one, it's called a motion demo, which is this, which is actually going to switch motions when you kind of click the button for move box. It's going to change the state. Now what's this doing? We have a screen width calling from the location configuration, and the box state at point start the length of 70, and we have to call the DP by the animate DP as states. So that's what we're going to be changing. The column, we set a box. We'll talk about box, we'll talk about column, we'll talk about row in subsequent lectures. So this is actually going to create a box like effect, like say a rectangle or a square as you deem fit. A spacer, which is create a space at the bottom where you're going to trigger the animation. The last but not the least is a transition demo, and we're going to see how we're going to expand based on size, right? We have it as a column as well, and the box with a spacer underneath, and the button to actually get this change of states up and running. So let's get to look at these in a Pixel 4, and let's see what we're gonna have here. Yeah, so the first one is the rotation. So you could switch the particular demo you want to do. Like now we have the rotation demo at first, which is set to this. That's why you're seeing only that. You could also have the color change demo. You just switch the particular reference, the motion demo, and also the transition demo. So for brevity, let's just test this. The rotate propeller, you could see how that. So this is just an animated way to demonstrate the change of state. I'll be dropping the source code link right there in my GitHub repository. So, and with the link, and I'll be sharing that with a video, so you could actually pick it up from there, and you could tweak around, play around with a particular demo you want to display. So that's all from me at this point in time. Let's leave it short, let's leave it simple this way. And the next video we'll be talking about the animate visibility. Bye bye for now.